network to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ebro in the Morning. Laura Stiles on assignment, dealing with family stuff today. We got Rosenberg and our co-host for the morning. Give it up for LaLa. She's back in radio.
I'm the co-host.
We just did a $70 million deal with LaLa.
Congrats.
She's our co-host now. Yo, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
The salary you're getting to be here is worth more than the entire radio station.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Well, I don't know about that. But
That's how bad.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
70?
about 70 now. I think
Okay.
I think Hot probably bills between 20 and 30, and then you amortize that or 5 times cash flow or whatever the numbers
This
are.
sounds like a Foxy Brown verse, what you're saying right now.
Exactly.
Double it times 3.
There you go. LaLa was popping.
Hey,
I
how
want
are
to deal
you?
with first,
Yes.
before we get to shenanigans. Let's
Okay.
deal with real life shit.
All right.
Because you're out here doing great work at Rikers Island.
Thank you
That's
so
phenomenal.
much. I appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. It's funny, like, when you do certain things, it's like, it's a double-edged sword. Because, like, if you talk about it, then it's like, oh, you're only doing it to talk about it. But then if you don't talk about it, how do you continue it and get the support and resources? So it's like, in some ways, it's kind of something I've been doing real quietly for a while now. And it kind of got out. But it's like, I'm glad it got out because it's important for people to know what's happening. Because I feel like when it comes to Rikers, every day is just negative, 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 negative. And no one talks about anything positive that's going on there. So through the mayor, Eric Adams, I met Pastor Tim, who does an initiative there called Fatherless No More, specifically a spiritual-based initiative for incarcerated young men who don't have fathers. And Fatherless No More is you finally found God as your father. And I was sitting in on the sessions and just so moved. And I was like, I'm so passionate about this work. And I just kept going. I'm going today, and I just work with a group of young men there, 18 to 21, and just talk about life issues and how to be an asset to the community, how to make better decisions, no matter what the environment is like, how to deal with the gang stuff, just everything. We just have candid conversations, and sometimes you realize people just want to talk. They just want to feel like you're listening to them, or they just want advice.
Somebody to love.
Somebody to love. Yeah, I tell them I love them all the time, and a lot of them are like, never heard those words before. I've never had someone just hug me, things like that. And so it's been really, really a powerful thing that we're doing there. And shout out to Lil Baby, because the day his album dropped, he was up there with me.
That's
and
big.
and I was like, you could be anywhere today. Your album came out. And he was like, I can relate. He was obviously incarcerated before, and he had so much great advice. Like, they were like, what was the first thing you did when you got out? Or how was the world different when you came out? And he talked about all of that. He didn't even want to talk about the album. He was like, I don't want to talk about the album. I want to talk about real life and, like, how to get out of here and make better for yourself. So it was really powerful.
Where can people learn more and donate and things like that?
Yeah, you could. People find a way to hit me up. You gotta hit me up and we'll figure it out. It's not too much about the donating thing. It's more about, like, people lending time and resources. Shout out to Emery. He sent me tons of Pumas for
Emery Jones.
Yes, love
Mr.
Emery. He
Jones.
sent me tons of Pumas for the boys, the young men there, which was awesome. And then, like, restaurants all over the city, Say Less, Negrill, always giving me food to give to the young men there. Like, it's just the community has to come together and help. I'm not asking anybody for money. Like,
Right.
I'm all
Well,
right.
and I think it's important too. People either haven't heard, don't listen, or don't know.
Right.
Rikers, most of the population there is waiting for trial.
Yeah,
Like, they can't
exactly.
afford bail.
Oh my God.
So they're just waiting for trial. And this could, because of the systems here in New York
Yeah.
City, could be years
It's-
before you
no,
get your
it's
day in
so
court.
horrible. And now that I'm so entrenched in it, I see it firsthand. Like, and nothing against public defenders. I know people are just doing their job. They have a heavy caseload, but I've sat in court. I even go to court with the young men in the program. And I've sat in court and I'm like, sometimes the lawyers are so disconnected. They have no idea what's going on with the case. And some of these guys are facing like 12 years, some 25 to life. And it's like so much time and you don't even know what's going on with this person's case. Like, it's just another black face that's like, all right, 10
It's
years,
just
see you
a name
later.
on a page.
A name on a page, next,
Well,
next,
and
next.
they literally there'll be relationships between the public defenders and the judges,
100%.
and it's like, hey, if I do this one, then
Yeah.
for this one I'll give you that.
Yeah.
It's just numbers. It's just numbers being tossed around.
I've sat in courtrooms and I'm like, I was shocked. I mean, I heard about it, obviously, but when you're sitting there, I'm like, it's really sad. So the funding that you talked about what I've been using some of my own personal funds for is that exactly, for lawyers and finding great lawyers that'll help me out and take on some of these cases. And it's such a difference when you have a lawyer that's being paid as opposed to, you know, a public defender who has a million cases. Like, you just see the difference in the conviction and people getting off and all of that.
Well, and how your involvement in this, and then seeing the work that Kim K's doing, and seeing the work that a lot of people are doing just around understanding our carceral system, right? And the justice system, which, you know, we say it's broken, but many people will say, no, it's working exactly the way they want it to work, because they are, you know, obviously want to lock black and brown boys up at a higher tick.
Yes.
They get cheap labor once they get them in some of these, privately run prisons, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But how much are you able to, like, even bring some of these real influential people that even Kim K deals with, right? Like, how much of that also helps you help these guys out?
Yeah, it's great to have an amazing network of friends that you can call on to help. So everybody's kind of banding together to help, even with, you know, Lil Baby coming. It's like, whatever you need. Kim posted about that, so that just generates more stuff. And she's always like, "La, what do you need from me? How can I help?" You know, we've written letters on behalf of some of the young men who've completed the program to talk about the changes. I mean, I've stood up in court and talked to judges like, you see a criminal. I see someone who's completely changed their life, who's worked with me 20 hours a week to become a better man, and just speaking on their behalf. Those things go a really long way. So it's great to have that network. But for me, it's more that one-on-one, like being in there, like I'm going today. It's a classroom, it's a closed setting, and you're just talking. Like, I love that one-on-one feel, because that's where I feel like I'm making the most difference.
And how much does this impact Cayenne, your son?
So,
right, because this kind of is a humbling thing for him,
Of course. So the day that Lil Baby went on the day his album dropped, there was a huge basketball game there. My son came. He played in the game, so he played on the Rikers team, and we brought in a team from the outside. It was the most competitive, crazy game ever. But, you know, a lot of the young men at Rikers, they love playing basketball. As a matter of fact, some of them have played basketball with my son before, like really great players there. So he played on their team, and they ended up, he hit like the winning shot. The gym went crazy. But for him, I told him, like, you know, for you, it's just another basketball game. This is life-changing stuff for people who don't get to do this all the time. So I think he understands. And for him to be 15 and be inside Rikers and see what that's like is empowering, and a lesson also. Like, this shit ain't sweet out here. You know, we live in Brooklyn. We're not off in some gated community somewhere where, you know, we're just away from the whole world. He plays basketball. He's around a lot of things. And it's just a reminder, like, you got to make right decisions, be around the right people. Because
people who look just like you.
Exactly.
Has that always been a priority for you? Like, making sure that your son can have, like, because you come from humble beginnings and real life.
Yes.
He had every opportunity to live a life that you couldn't even remotely relate to. His dad is an iconic NBA star. His mom's a superstar. How have you made sure that he is still a normal, humble person?
Oh, I keep him so humble. I don't do that, like, super privileged celebrity thing. That's just not my way of parenting. Like, which is why we live in Brooklyn. People are always like, yo, why are you still in Brooklyn? Like, you could live anywhere, but I want my son to be able to be humble and be in touch with the real world. You know how New York is. You could live on this street. This street is the projects right here. It's like, he's around everything. And his friends come from all walks of life. I think that's how you create a great man, you know, to be able to deal in everything. And that's important to me. My son is so humble and just so down to earth. Like, we don't play those games. We don't do that.
So how you said 20 hours a week at Rikers.
Right now, because I have the time, BMF wrapped. And I mean, as busy as I am, I make the time.
I was just about to go there. Like, the balance of that is,
it's crazy. But, you know, like today I'll get there at 11:30, and sometimes I'm getting out of there at like 6:30.
Right.
With no phone, by the way.
One.
No phone, but I realize I'm actually liking not being so like attached to my phone.
You get to be present for 7 hours.
You get to be present and just like really hear what people have to say. And I feel like it was something that I needed to do anyway. So like I always tell them, I'm like, you guys think I'm changing your life, but you're changing mine. I'm so empowered. I leave and I have all these ideas. And like you said, people I want to call that everyone calls me for favors. I'm like, oh no, I'm about to make some of these calls because I need some favors now and just doing what I need to do. But it's nice to have the time. And when, you know, I'll just manage it when I start filming again or doing whatever to figure it out.
So BMF,
Yes.
you were in the first season, but
Yeah,
it
I was
wasn't-
only in one episode
Yeah, I was gonna
because
say.
I was on The Shy.
Right.
So I couldn't do both. And now season 2, I'm a series regular, and I think
Yo, I love the first season.
yeah, people are really
Yo,
excited
Meech, your
about
son,
the,
Lil Meech.
I
I keep telling Rosenberg, everybody will hear that kid, man, he's an actor.
He's an actor, and he's so talented. And Da Vinci, who plays Terry, so talented. So I'm coming on as Terry's older girlfriend that like is schooling him to the game and like how it really goes. So it's gonna be an interesting.
How much older?
I think it's like 10 years.
How do you feel about being in a place in our lives? We're all about the same age, where you're playing the sugar mama.
You know, it's interesting that you said that because in my mind I'm still 21, so I'm like, fuck that. I'm not old. But what I find more interesting than that is that I feel like the older I get, the younger the guys that try to
I was just
talk
about
to
to
me
say.
are. Like, I'm literally looking at them like, yo, I'm not 25. Like, I don't
No,
understand.
that's why they like it.
It's like
they know they like
young-
it. Yo, they like it.
They like it.
The DMs are crazy, huh?
They like it. I'm just like
I'm
now
sure.
I never had to like the first thing I do now is Google the age. Like I never had to do that before. And I'm like, yo, you're 22. Like and they're very confident. Like they're very like
Oh no, they gonna close
yo,
the deal.
what's good?
Listen, when I was 22, I was on the same page, bro. You see,
But what is that? Can you
It's
tell
sexy,
me?
bro. It's just sexy. She's mature. I think the other piece of it is too. When I was younger and I was hollering at older women, I felt like they knew what they wanted. Like they was confident in their sexuality. I didn't have to like handhold
Right.
and like coddle you when it came time for the physical.
Right.
Right? When it came time for the physical, an older woman either wants it or she don't.
Right.
And you don't have to play this little.
When you were young, yeah, it's a different
But
Did
thing.
you
she's
feel
your
like
age.
older women were into like
For me?
Yeah, like-
absolutely.
Ebro did, that was a thing. By the way, let's let that was his thing.
okay, God.
I mean, honestly,
I
relative
don't
to most
think
people,
was I around?
you have several older women stories.
Oh, yeah.
That was the thing
since,
for him.
Since 17. Like,
Okay.
since 16, 17.
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
this is a thing then.
Yes.
Okay, I got
Yeah,
it.
no, it was a thing.
No,
He
and
was out here.
I still, even to this day, am more I'm not attracted to anything little girly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Even
that's
to this day. I need woman parts. I need, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I need women.
Right.
Feminine fat. I need it all.
You need-
I like all that shit. Let's get into it, LaLa. We got LaLa on the show. I can talk
LaLa,
grown woman
listen,
talk.
this is what you want. LaLa, I'll give you $20.
Yo, grown woman talk.
Grown woman talk.
I'll give you $20 right now.
Well, I
but
want a grown ass man. So see that's the thing. I don't want a little kid.
I want to look through your DMs for 5
Oh
minutes.
my God.
I
no,
can't
you
even
don't.
imagine.
It's, no, you do not.
It's crazy.
So now you said I Google ages, which means propositions come.
Yes.
You're considering said proposition.
Well, she's lightly considering.
I'm just like, yo, who is this? Oh, let me Google it. And it's like 22. And I'm like, it's just like
So what do you
crazy.
say?
Not most of the time. I never respond to DMs,
right.
but doesn't mean I'm not doing my little sidebar
So
checking.
you real quick. So you pull the move where you look at the DM but you don't accept it. So they
There's
don't see
a way
it.
you can read a DM without accepting.
Yeah, you can see it, so they don't know you read
Man,
it.
I'm so
There's-
glad to have
there's
my
a
friend
trick.
LaLa back on the show, man. I know LaLa since you was what, 15?
Yes.
16?
Yes.
We was all coming up in radio together.
Yeah, we were. We
Yeah.
were.
And now you're like, I mean, you've lived how many different lives?
That's what my assistant's always like. You live so many lives. Even when I came in here today, I was like, I used to work here. And she was like, wait, how? I was like, I did used to work
Ladies'
here
night.
at one time.
Ladies'
night. I
night.
did used to work
Whole
here.
different lobby now.
So it's a whole different everything. But I'm just like, I don't know. My thing about my career is that I always wanted to keep evolving. And like whenever I felt like, okay, I'm getting bored or it's getting stagnant, I was like, what else can I do? And I just kept pivoting and pivoting. And I think that's important because a lot of times people just get stuck and then they just kind of disappear. Like they don't know anything else. And if you're passionate about something, then do it and stick with it. But for me, like radio, I loved. And I was like, well, after radio, the next transition is TV. After TV, it's like acting. Acting, it's producing. Like I just kind of mapped it out the way I wanted it to go.
So I want to go back. You said, I'm looking for a grown-ass man.
Oh my God.
Well,
Why does everything go back to this?
Well, hang on, Rosenberg. Hang on.
Oh my God.
You're currently single.
I feel like, okay, yes, I'm currently single, but it's like, I just feel like I'm constantly reminded that I'm fucking single.
No, that's cool. It's
That's life.
normal. It's
It's
normal.
life.
It's
It's life.
normal. It's normal.
Well, somebody said it's winter now, and you're not supposed to be.
cuffing season.
It's not. You're not supposed to be single in the winter.
Well, now, and We're having candid talk.
Yeah, so wait.
It will be very hard for whomever you decide to spend your time with because of who your ex is, right? Like that's a hard comparison for some men. And have you encountered that in dating where it's just kind of like,
oh, I see what you're saying.
you know what I'm saying? Like somebody's gonna be in that. It's a shadow. Pun intended.
You know what? I've encountered that a little bit, but I'm telling you, people are super confident. Like I'm like, yo, you really think you have a chance? Like they're so confident these days, and I think it's good to be confident.
That's right.
Yeah, they're very confident. But I've also encountered more of like, probably like, yo, like I can't really do that to him, or like, and I'm like, wait, that's your friend? Because I never seen you around him ever in life. Like,
that's your friend in your mind.
Yeah, that's your friend because I never seen you before. But it's like a respect, which is great. I mean, nothing negative to say. We get along awesome. We co-parent, all that. But that's what I get more than anything.
So I want to walk through this a little bit.
Oh my God, what is
well,
this,
because
a dating
now
show?
you say I want a grown ass man, and the other part of it is like the swag part. Like what?
Yeah.
Like let's get it, because you don't want hard bottom shoes with jeans, right? Like you don't
No,
want like they gotta have
no.
you know, because sometimes dudes get older, they start dressing funny, or maybe they just never. They got money now.
Well, let's define older. Can we start there? Because
Okay.
we're throwing out, like, what is older? See, my age range for dating.
Let's go.
I can't believe this is
Give
like
it to
a
me.
fucking dating show. My age range for dating is like 30 to 40.
Okay.
That's my
30
age
to 40.
range. Yeah.
You're maxing out at 40?
If he's 50, but
No, I never went there.
You would never go 50?
I'm not saying I would never. I'm saying
just
I
haven't.
never. I don't even come across those people.
Right,
like
right.
They're not
I
shooting.
feel like and I also feel like I could be wrong, but the majority of older men, like over 40, I could be wrong, that I know are married or like in
Right.
full like
Yeah,
relationships.
yeah.
Like it's just not a lot of
single
like 40 plus.
Now, what about the 40 plus guy, divorced or on his way to be divorced? Does the divorce have to be final to consider dating?
Good question. Very good question.
This is a thing that happens to dudes over
That
40. I
is-
see it a lot.
you're right.
Where they're like, yo, I'm trying to divorce her. We don't live together. Like we live in separate places. We're co-parenting. I'm
Right.
financially obligated
right.
to it.
I think it depends on every situation is different
Right,
because going through divorce, like you understand how long it takes and like it could be years or whatever. So it depends because a lot of guys out here like, oh, they still fucking their baby moms or they ex-wife.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and all due
we not
respect,
playing
I
those
feel like when
games.
I think of people who had long divorces, I feel like you and Melo's separation divorce was a saga also.
It was
You
long.
went through it. Was like, I was like, I think they're broken up. Wait, no, they're back together. No, they're broken
It was
up.
long. I mean, it's a
Right.
lot involved. And that's why I said marriage is easy to get into and hard to get out of.
Yeah,
like,
very much.
It takes a lot. But yeah, it depends. It depends. Because if y'all not living together and it's just strictly about the child, then that's different. But
You can tell as a woman
Oh,
if
yeah.
he's still fucking baby moms.
yeah, you could tell.
You can tell.
Yeah, you could tell her. Eventually you'll find out.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not doing that.
No, that's out.
No.
And so back to because the reason I bring up the fashion is because LaLa's been in and around cool motherfuckers her entire life.
Well, yeah, and now
And so now when you at where you are in your dating life,
Yeah.
you're around older men who got cool later because they got money later.
Right.
So they're just now got a good bank account and they're trying to holler at LaLa. And it's like you're examining all their shit. LaLa's looking at your watch. She's looking at your manicure. She's looking at your lineup.
I would just like to point out really quickly what Carmelo's draft day outfit looked like, okay?
Hey! That was for the era, though.
Sorry.
That fit the era.
It fit the era. Okay,
That
okay.
fit the era. There will be no Mellow slander today.
Love you,
okay?
Mellow.
But if you're still dressing like Mello on draft day,
no,
Right,
that's
that's
a
a problem. That's a
But
problem.
here's what I'm trying to tell you. No guys over 40 try to talk
Right,
to me.
doesn't
I
matter.
don't even see this group of guys that you're talking about
right,
because
right.
the ones I do know are in relationships or happily, married or dealing with people. But I'm saying like the guys that try to talk to me, I don't think maybe once or twice there's ever been someone over 40 that's
Right.
tried to, like, this is a real thing.
Okay, so now let me throw something else out. You are a busy woman.
Yeah.
Right? You are television shows. You are helping young men at Rikers. I mean, you are a busy woman.
Right.
How does this guy even see you? Like, how does this even, he's got to fly to whatever city
I think it's the classic thing. People make time for what they want to make time for. Like, nobody's too busy. And that drives me crazy. Like, when a guy tries to say, like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm busy, I'm like, oh, you're busy?
Now
you
you
want me
are?
to tell you about busy? Like,
right.
if I can make the time, then you can make the time because I know what being busy is like. I just feel like when you want to pursue something or you're into something, you make the time
force the
and
time.
you force the time. You figure it out. Like nobody's that busy. That busy shit, I hate that. Like,
Well,
no
isn't
one
it funny
is
how
that
like
busy?
before you've had sex, they're not busy, but once you've had sex like 5 times, all of a
busy
sudden the
now.
schedule
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
gets
I'm tied
murky.
up. I'm tied
What
up.
kind of show is this today? Is this a dating?
I didn't know we were going here, by the way.
We're just
Ebro,
talking about
Ebro
friend
took us here.
LaLa.
We're just talking with our
We're
friends.
talking with our single friend LaLa.
With our
How about this?
single-
Our hot single friend LaLa.
Yeah,
We don't get opportunities like this.
Yeah, hot single friend.
But
Lala.
yes, things do change after.
Yeah, then all of a
sex.
sudden they're
This is
busy
fun.
now.
Yeah, yeah.
So are you
exactly.
in a men are cool, men are cool, or are you in a men are on my fucking nerve zone? What zone are you in as a single woman right now?
I'm in a living my life, being open to whatever comes my way.
Oh, so you're just like floating.
I'm just
I'm flowing,
flowing. I'm
yeah.
just flowing. Like I don't want to have so many. You got to be like this. You got to have this. Like obviously, I have standards and values. I'm not just gonna be with just anybody. But I just feel like it's so many like check before you even get to know somebody. Like I'm
Right.
not like that. Like I'm not a person doesn't have to be this type of person for me to. If it's a vibe and I think you cool, I don't really care too much about all that other stuff. I want to get to know you, and then if you have ambition and passion, then we can do something with that.
Do you mind if I ask Lala something not about dating?
Well, wait.
I don't wanna-
I'm
yeah, I
trying
don't wanna-
Well, no, because there's somebody watching this
Right.
that's gonna
Oh my
make
God.
a proposition to our friend LaLa, and we might be the reason that LaLa finds the
Well-
next chapter of happiness in her life. The Ebro in the morning, Rosenberg and Laura Stiles. They'll go, yo, remember that interview where Ebro was forcing LaLa to
Right.
run down what she likes? It
Right.
helped me in my approach.
And I'm intentionally blocking. I'm
Yeah,
like,
why are you hating?
leave her alone. Don't bother with it.
Why?
Because I feel like, honestly, for Lala, for her to take the next step forward and find happiness, I know now I'm divorced. I'm now engaged again.
Wait, okay,
Yeah, sorry, I haven't seen you in a long time.
congratulations.
Thank
I'm like, see people.
Yo, life's crazy.
Why? Why?
Go ahead. What's the
I'm just
question?
like people. I also notice like people fall in love quickly to me. Like I'm like, damn, not you. I'm
No,
just
no,
saying
no,
people
I feel the
know.
same
It's like,
way.
damn, you just was with now
No.
you're so in love with it. I'm like, that hasn't happened for me. Like I don't know, and I'm a Cancer and we're lovers, but it's like I just feel like it's
No,
like,
I relate to you. I'm with you 1,000%.
So what is that?
When my relationship broke up, I didn't go on a date for a year and a half.
Okay.
And then the pandemic started, and I happened to meet someone early in the pandemic. So we got very close very fast. We match up in all these ways.
And then you got,
I'm like, let's go. What are we doing?
and you
We
want to
do-
get married again?
Why you say it like
Oh,
that?
okay.
But I don't have kids. Remember, I want
okay,
to have a
okay,
family.
okay.
So yes, I do.
Okay.
You're saying as someone who's been divorced, you
wanna get
You don't
married
think you ever
again?
want to get married again?
I don't think so.
You're good.
I think I'm good. I checked that one off the list. You
And-
just gotta say like you did it. Like
And by the
I
way,
did it.
this is important if you're watching. She's not into that.
Yeah, she's not looking for that.
not
And you're not
looking
looking for more kids.
I don't think so. My son is 15, so I don't think so. I would never say never, but marriage, I just feel like I've done that. And I feel like you can have an amazing relationship with somebody and you don't have to be
And there's less pressure
married,
without
less
all that.
pressure. And it's like
See, different-
marriage becomes like,
But you're LaLa.
Business thing.
It's different. You can get a guy and he's going to be like down to just be single forever. I, as Rosenberg, I meet a wonderful woman. I can't just be like, hey, I've already gotten married.
I don't
Why
wanna
don't you
do
just
that,
sit here and
right.
be my bitch for a long time? Like, that's not going to work. Like, we got to get married.
Shit went left, my bitch.
Well, you know what I'm saying. My girlfriend, my whatever,
Shit got crazy.
baby
do we
mom.
want to talk about your dating life?
I'm not dating. I'm in a relationship for shit 6 years.
Yeah, I
5,
knew
6
that. I
years.
just wanted to make sure things were still
No,
good.
no.
out.
You
So,
never know.
with a grown
Grown-ass
woman.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you know, I like women parts.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Things
Exactly.
moving around out here.
Exactly.
We ain't
But
playing games.
hence,
Sorry.
my statement, most men
Yeah.
over 40
Yeah,
are
yeah,
in
yeah.
relationships.
Yeah, I mean, we really backed that up.
I'm
She
just
didn't,
saying, I'm pulling out all
she didn't
the
even know
facts
I had already gotten single
like,
and
damn.
re-engaged.
here. So I guess I'm the only one out here.
No,
just
no, not at all.
Take your
Now, and I
time.
will say this. I know, and I see the convo on socials, and I know women who are now single, either moms or never had children yet,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely over 35, right? And it's hard to date, right? Like it's the whole like women meeting men,
It's hard.
dating is like the apps ain't working for most people. If you're someone like yourself who is a successful professional, right, in whatever field you're in, you're around men who are also successful and professional and likely in something because they have a family and they're taking care of their family.
Right.
So that makes it even harder. Then, so now we're, I mean,
It just keeps getting
the pie just keeps getting
right, and
so
then that's why I
small.
think it gets younger and younger,
Right.
and then you're like, yo, what am I do with this? Like,
Right.
because then they're not in relationships or they're just experiencing, but it's like I've already.
Well,
done
see,
that.
and that's just why I brought up fashion and I brought up being cool, because then when you're dealing with somebody like LaLa, the cornball factor is a big factor.
I
do you
wouldn't.
mean?
Yeah, nah.
Well, hold on. That she wouldn't be with one.
Right, that she would just
But
be like,
that's-
"Oh, this dude's a fucking
but it's so-
cornball,"
it's
or he's a fan, or he's a stan,
But it's so
or he's a-
hard because if someone comes to you with too much swag and confidence, that is often a sign of douchebag also.
I agree.
So you have to find this
No,
middle
I know how
ground.
to read it. I know how to read
You
it.
can pick it up.
No, I know how to read it.
So it's some confidence, but you don't want them showing up like, yeah, ma, what's good? That would be aggressive.
I kind of like Ma.
Wow! Look, I'm giving you gems. I'm giving
like
you
Yeah,
gems.
Ma.
she like it. Yeah, ma,
I'm
what's
from
good?
Brooklyn. I'm from the hood. I like Ma was good.
See, fellas, you're welcome, and good luck. All right, I want to ask you something non-dating. Kim K is one of your best friends. Everyone knows this. She's talked about in so many different ways. She's like, she's ubiquitous. She's like part of everyone's life. What can you say about Kim that you think people might not know or is surprising about her just as a friend that maybe the rest of us would never know?
She's just an incredible person, incredible friend. Like, she has the biggest heart out of everyone I know. And she's just like, we've been friends for 13 years now.
That's lifetimes for both of you guys.
And she's just dope in so many ways. Like, can't nobody say nothing bad about Kim K to me. Like, nah, that's not gonna happen, because I go off of how a person treats me and my family, and she's been there for me through everything, and I've been there for her through everything. And it's just like, I think people get caught up in, I don't know, like what they
The
see on
entertainment,
TV,
yeah,
the
that's all-
entertainment
because that's all
factor
they
of
know.
it,
That's
and
all
they
they
don't
know.
get to know or even care to know the real person. Like, and she also does so much good in the world. Like, she's just a good ass person.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great to hear.
How hard is it for you, somebody, as you said, I'm from the hood, like you started in radio.
Right.
How do you navigate being the LaLa that we know, because you haven't changed at all, and this world that most of us are outsiders to, right? The entertainment, Hollywood, movies, TV.
Right.
Talk about that balance of like knowing the bullshit,
Right.
being a regular person, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all of that. Is that something that you work to distance yourself from in some ways, or you just haven't been able to find the real people in a pocket of...
I think I'm just me. Like, I'm just gonna be me wherever I'm at. Whether I'm in Calabasas, I'm gonna be me. If I'm in Brooklyn, I'm gonna be me. I'm just gonna be me. And I think either it resonates with people or it doesn't. But one thing my friends or the people I'm around know, like, I'm gonna give you real advice. I'm gonna give you love, but I'm gonna be honest about things. And I think so many times when you reach a certain level of success, it's so much yes around you that people value when someone comes in and like, nah, you know that's crazy. Like, you can't do that. You can't, like, they value that because everyone's like, yeah, that's great. That's wonderful. So I'm just me, and I don't switch up.
Right.
I don't switch up.
And are you loving life in general? Like when you look at where you are in your career after everything that we, the public, has seen,
Yeah.
your personal life in general, like the whole journey so far to this point, you can be like, yo, I love it.
I love it. I do love it. I mean, there's been tough moments. Like, everybody goes through tough times. So it's been tough moments, but to come out on the other side and be like, all right.
Is
I'm
this
okay.
that? Is this a good one?
Yeah, this is like, I'm okay. I made it through. I'm all right. And now just looking forward to whatever God has in store for the next, phase or chapter. I love acting. I'm doing that. 50 and I are producing a lot together, which is awesome. I have my hair care line, Anala. Like, I'm doing so many things. I do my, work in the community. Like, I'm a mom. Like, I find things that fulfill me and make me really happy. And I think less about all the other stuff.
Wait, so you and 50 are like, y'all like best friends.
We're very close. We're very close. We've been friends for 17 years, or maybe 18 now.
Wow.
Yeah, very, very close. And he, obviously with Power, I did 6 seasons of Power, which was, to me, the greatest show. And I'm not just saying that because I was on it. The
No,
greatest
it's a
show
damn
on
good show.
television.
Damn
And now
good.
you got Kanan and Force and BMF and Power Book and all these amazing shows. So I'm super excited about BMF. One thing about 50, and I mean, you guys know him, it's just like, when 50 says he's going to do something, he really does it. And what I love about him is we live in a world where everyone's like, yeah, call me, or we're gonna meet, or I got you on the next one. And it's just like, it's all bullshit. Like, when he says he has you, he's gonna call and be like, yo, remember I told you that? Show up tomorrow at this time for the audition or whatever. Like, he really follows through, and that's how I am. So that's something that I love and respect, about him.
Back to dating. I just had a thought.
I think
Well, because Shawnee Culture's here.
right.
And Shawnee Culture, I don't know if you've been on the program since you were topless on Power. I don't know if you recall.
No, we already had this conversation.
We did?
I think so, yeah. That I think Shawnee was upset at the time that you had the sex scene on Power. Is that what
I'm
happened?
mad about that.
Yeah, I felt like,
What?
I said she cheated.
Cheated on who?
That was the quote that
Cheated on who? On Mello?
on your relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm an actor and I acted out a sex scene with my co-star?
Look, we don't have to revisit
No,
this.
I want to revisit. I want to revisit.
We don't have to
Because there's more
revisit
sex
this.
scenes on BMF, so I want to revisit.
I'm all in, and you're single now, so it's
Oh,
different.
so it's okay?
Yeah.
But
And
you
look-
do realize it's acting, right?
Yeah, but by the way, we covered this on the air just the same way.
okay, but I'm
and he
just-
was like, yeah, but I saw her boobs. Like, I saw her nipples. Like,
Right,
that's
and
not
she's in a
acting. You can't act
relationship.
like those are fake nipples.
But a lot of guys do feel that way. Like, I've
Of
had
course.
guys been like, I can't
I was
deal with
speaking
that.
for all of them.
Which is, by the way, why I'm bringing it up and said back to dating.
Right.
Because what if a guy you really like,
Okay.
right? Because now we're making the pie even smaller
Making
now.
the pie.
Right. It's this big. There's no pie left.
this
It's
pie.
crust.
Of dudes who are like,
Come on, that guy's
What?
out.
I can't be with her because she does sex scenes?
Or
he
I don't
just
want you.
can't
No,
to
I'm
deal-
asking, is that
he
like
can't
what it
deal-
would-
It's not even that. He can't deal with his friends to have seen his woman in that precarious situation.
Right.
Is really what it is. It ain't even about the acting. It's the fact that his boys is gonna call him like, yo, Ma was looking good on that joint last night.
Yo, if that's really that guy should already be out of the conversation. This is a grown ass
Yo,
woman.
Yeah, and
he
it's
comes
different.
through like, man, fuck that shit.
What are
That
you-
is-
what are you
doing?
No, but I'm telling you, I've heard this. I've heard this a lot. So it's just interesting to me because it's my career. It's what I do for a living. So I'm supposed to tell like the writer that, oh yeah, on this show, I'm in a relationship with this guy, but we never have sex because in relationships, you have sex with the person you're in a relationship with. That's part of the storyline. And if you were there behind the scenes and you got to see how it really went down,
Yeah, it's not
maybe you
sexy
would
at
feel
all,
it's
yeah.
nothing sexy about it.
Right.
And maybe you would feel
But your boob,
differently.
but the nipples was out though.
They were. They were.
out.
They were.
I mean,
I
listen.
thought you was lining me up for like over 40 and divorce. Like, you know what I'm
No,
saying?
my
Hey,
point
Ma,
is-
what's good?
My point
That's
is,
the-
Hey, Mom, what's good?
Yeah, I mean,
Hey,
let
Ma,
me get the
what's
line.
good?
line
you
up
wouldn't
at
be
all.
able to
What's
date her.
goody?
What about our friend LaLa?
Well, it really was a dating show today,
Great
but I'm
dating-
glad
dating
that
with
we
LaLa.
got
Ground.
that.
We covered Rikers. We covered
A lot. But
of
I
ground.
do want to say we made it fun, but it was some real conversation
There you
there
go.
about dating because this is what the conversations that my friends and I
Listen,
have.
this is
Damn
why we
right.
gave you the $70 million contract.
Right. For the real ish.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Thanks, LaLa. BMF
Love
soon
you, guys.
come.
Love you guys.
See?
Later.
More sex scenes.
Johnny,
She said it.
I want more
I
sex
didn't. She
scenes.
said it.
It's over,
Fuck
bro.
outta
She said
here.
The interview is over, bro.